Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Rosemary, and in today's video I have 5 easy Dollar Tree fall hacks for $5 or less. So let's start with this fabulous piece I found in the candle section in the $1.25 area. It is a much larger piece than most items usually found in this area, so it's a great value and it pairs perfectly with this glass container usually found either in the candle or glassware section. The only issue is the paint finish on the leaves. The copper is overly shiny and the black accenting is haphazardly slapped on, which immediately gives away its inexpensive price tag. However, there is a quick and easy way to instantly give this piece a whole new look. Just add a little antique wax. You can pick up these small bottles at Walmart for about $1.70, and a little goes a long way. You just want to apply a thin, streaky coat over the leaves and voila! The overly shiny copper is toned down and the black accent paint is better blended. And then here you can see the difference between the two. The one on the left is the original with the shiny surface, and then just that little bit of antique wax just made this look much better. And then of course adding the glass and the candle gives it the complete look. It's amazing how that little trick just takes this piece from looking like a $2 Dollar Tree item to a $20 Kohl's or Kirkland's item. Here is another example of a piece with great bones, as they say. These faux cutting board wall hangings are absolutely adorable and come in a choice of 3 graphics, and although the graphics are adorable, they do lack detail. In addition, the paper-covered MDF board and the skimpy raffia bow are all telltale signs of a cheaper product. However, with a few quick fixes, we can address those telltale signs and give this piece a little makeover. I wanted to start by adding some detail to the graphic, and all I need is a regular and an ultra-fine Sharpie marker. First, for the word pumpkin, I'm going to add some polka dots, and to do so, I use the regular Sharpie and just make a dot with the tip of the marker. I find it easier to do the horizontal lines first on the letter, then go down the vertical line of the letter to get even spacing. Then I'll repeat for the rest of the letters. Next, I went on to the price per pound section, and all I did here was trace over the letters with the regular Sharpie marker, making the letters bolder and slightly bigger. This is also giving the lettering more of that hand-done look and removing the obvious mass-produced look of the original. Next, I turned my attention to the pumpkin and leaves graphic, and here I'm going to switch over to that ultra-fine Sharpie marker. Now, don't laugh, but I really couldn't see what I was doing here when I was filming this. I'm old, what can I say? But then I got into a better position here so that I could both see what I was doing and film. So you can see the idea here is to do wispy lines of the graphic using the fine tip marker. This is going to give the graphic more detail, and that is often the difference between what you will find on a piece at Dollar Tree or something at, say, Hobby Lobby, but for the price difference, we can just add our own. Lastly, I just added some dashes to the word patch, and again, couldn't see too well, got a little out of whack there, but it's just hard to do the fine-tuned stuff and film at the same time, especially when the eyesight's not that great. Now to address the MDF paper-covered surface. I think it's super cute and some faux finishes are amazingly realistic, but this one with its shiny smooth surface is not one of them. So I opted to cover most of it by encircling the round center with a string of wood beads from the craft section. These new pieces are great. Since they are on a strand, they make bead accenting so much easier. I just added a little glue to the surface, and then I placed the beads on with the string intact. I did need 2 strands for this project, and I simply started the second where the first ended, and took it back to the top, leaving the excess beads on and in place. Then I set the piece aside for the glue to fully set. Once the glue was set, the plan was to cut the string and remove it from the beads, but I used scissors that were way too big and ended up dislodging that first bead. I'll just glue it back, but definitely use smaller scissors here. Which is what I did for the second strand, but unfortunately, I thought I was recording, but the camera wasn't on. So suffice to say, I snipped the string at the bottom end, then pulled the string through this way so that I could knot the excess and keep the remaining beads on the string for future projects. I then went back and glued the bead I had knocked off with my ginormous scissors, but you can see even still there is a gap. Not to worry though, since I plan to add some decorative leaves to the top, I just made a selection of odds and ends leaves I already had in my stash. But Dollar Tree has a wide selection of fall leaves in varying colors if you don't have any on hand. I grouped them together, then wrap with floral tape. Here, I glued it in strategically, placing that arrangement so that it covered the gap. Lastly, I just added back the raffia bow I removed earlier and trimmed the ends to clean it up a bit. And oh, how cute this all came together. Like I said, the original had great bones, but basically doing a little makeup with markers, dressing it up a bit with the beads, and giving it a snazzy new hairdo with the leaves and ribbon transformed this 6 or 7 into a solid 10. For the next project, I used one of these Dollar Tree pumpkin wire forms and 2 spools of this very nice ribbon in a gorgeous burnt orange, also from Dollar Tree. I laid the pumpkin flat on my work surface, then measured down with the ribbon 1 and then 1/2 lengths of each spoke, and cut the ribbon there. Next, I folded the ribbon around the spoke, bringing the ends together, and applied hot glue to one of the edges, then pressed the 2 sides together. Once that area was sealed, I moved up the ribbon, gluing and sealing in sections. I do want to point out that the ribbon does have 2 sides. There's just a slight difference, but it's still there. So for uniformity, it's probably best to mind the side you start with and keep all the ribbons using that same side. By the time I got to the top of the spoke, the glue at the bottom of the ribbon was fully set. So I scratched that down to make room for the rest of the ribbon, then proceeded to glue the ends of the remaining ribbon. I then proceeded to do the same process for the remaining spokes, measuring 1 1/2 lengths down, folding the ribbon around the spoke, then gluing the ends together. When I got to the side edge of the frame, I just treated that like another spoke, covering it with the ribbon in the same way. Once all the spokes were covered, I positioned all the ribbons with the sealed side up, then created finger-width folds in the wired ribbon, folding it like an accordion. I then spread and fluffed the ribbons, creating a uniform spacing. For the cross pieces along the top and bottom of the pumpkin, I repeated the process of measuring 1 1/2 lengths of the ribbon, then folding and gluing, and then crimping along the wire frame. I then repeated that for all the cross sections. Once all the cross pieces were attached, it was time to join the pieces together. And to do so, I took the ends of 2 of the cross pieces and joined those to each side of one of the spoke pieces. I made sure all 3 pieces had the seam side up, then used a little hot glue to attach the 3 together. I then repeated this process for all the joints around the pumpkin. I then used scissors to clean up the edges and remove any stray threads. I also added a little more glue to the surface to keep the ribbon edges from fraying. To clean up any excess glue, I used a heat gun to melt the glue into the ribbon surface. A blow dryer would also work here. For the stem, I cut an 8-inch piece of burlap ribbon, then positioned it around the stem on the frame. I then used hot glue to again seal the edges of the ribbon. Then glued the burlap over the orange ribbon, making the body of the pumpkin. Next, I put some hot glue there along that pointy base on the stem, and then pressed the 2 pieces of the burlap ribbon together to seal that end. I then cut off the excess ribbon around the point and then decided to give it a little scrunching up to give it some character. Lastly, I took this Dollar Tree sunflower pick and attached it to the top of the pumpkin with some floral wire. And there you have a fun little take on a ribbon wreath using much less ribbon than usual, and also giving an idea for how to use that pumpkin form you picked up, knowing I can make something with this, and now maybe this pumpkin wall and or door decor might be just the thing. And speaking of pumpkins, how cute is this buffalo check squishy pumpkin? It is from the Dollar Plus section, but at just $3, it's cheaper than what it cost me to DIY soft pumpkins in the past. So why not? Plus, we can still decorate to give a unique personal touch. First, I wanted to change the stem, and the existing stem is attached with these little spikes, but all you have to do is kind of wiggle and shimmy the spikes around the fabric, and it comes right out. For the new stem, I just picked up a piece of twig from my yard. But then I like this chunkier one, so I replaced it with this one. Also at Dollar Tree, but in the $1.25 section, I found these awesome faux leather embossed tags that say thankful and blessed. I did have to shorten the length a little bit so it fit better, but it made the perfect addition to zhuzh up my pumpkin. From there, I went through my stash and found odd pieces of leaves and berries, then arranged and secured them together with floral tape. I made two, then hot glued them to each side of the stem. Then I took a raffia bow and glued it between the two stems to cover the tape. To add more fullness, I took two more raffia bows and glued them on top of the first. And that's it, some quick and easy upgrades to upcycle a Dollar Tree pumpkin into something looking like it came from a boutique or a catalog. And then here's another quick and easy pumpkin upgrade. I'm going to take two of these muted pumpkins. One's kind of tall and skinny in orange, and the other's kind of short and chubby in a nice off-white. And then I'm going to take some of these Dollar Tree stickers, and I'm going to paint two rows with pumpkin chalk paint and the other with Ivory chalk paint from Waverly. And then when I do paint the stickers, I am making sure to get the paint into all those little nooks and crannies. And then once painted, I will set them aside for that paint to fully dry, and the drier the better. And then as you can see, the stickers do make this kind of little flower pattern. However, they kind of share one of the pieces in the middle, so you need to cut around where the middle joining piece is so that one side has the full flower and the other's going to have kind of less of a flower. It's going to have like a different kind of flower, I guess you can say. But in any event, you can use just the full flowers, or you can use the partial flowers. I think they both, at first I started with just the full flower, but then it kind of looked cute having the other one in there as well to mix it up. But once they're cut out, it's just a matter of peeling and sticking the flowers. Now I use the orange on the ivory pumpkin, and I use the ivory on the orange pumpkin. And you can arrange however you choose, and again, use the full flower and a partial or just all full flower. You can, or use other stickers entirely, but it makes such a cute effect having the two colors juxtaposed against each other that make a really cute little pumpkin duo. And if you would like to see how I made the little acorn riser the ivory color pumpkin is sitting on, you'll have to check back next week for more easy Dollar Tree fall hacks under $5. And if you would like to check out the high-end retailers Dollar Dupe series, including some great fall decor pieces, you can click on the playlist here. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.